So in this day and age, most people are looking for quick solutions. Whatever that might look like, we want to have an issue and put a bandaid on for whatever gives you the fastest result, regardless of knowing why the issue might be there. For instance, if you have a headache, you probably take some Advil, it goes away, or at least gets diminished enough to where you are pleased with the outcome, not really thinking about what the root of the problem was. What were the X, Y, and Z factors that led to a pain going on inside of my head? Instead, you take what's necessary and move on with life. And when it comes to addiction and alcoholism, unfortunately, that's not something that you're able to do. It is one of the most robust and interesting diseases out there on the planet. It is one that centers in your mind and pretty much takes over your natural mechanical skills, your thoughts, your feelings, your decisions. Physically, you become a little bit different. And so to look at yourself and try to say, what is the one thing that I can do to get out of this situation is, well, in fact, impossible. And so what I wanted to discuss with a little more detail today is what we do here at Calusa Recovery, and specifically treating the whole entire person. And there's something that I see a lot of people do when they are trying to help somebody who is struggling with addiction or alcoholism, and that's go down the one-track method. And what that means is, and just to take a minute, there isn't anything wrong with working on one pillar of life. But when you're trying to become better and get further than just not picking up a drink or picking up a drug, there is actually quite a bit of work that's involved, but it becomes a process that is somewhat habitual after a time, and you get a very strong foundation, and you're able to capitalize on that time and time again, and you become very stable as a human being. But to elaborate more on the one-track method, that is, let's say you only go to church. You only see a therapist. Even if you go to a 30-day residential program, there are still things that you have to do outside of these one lanes to really treat the entire body. And so when we're talking about an illness that has multiple layers to it, mind, body, spirit, well, you have to look at all of those. And so what we do is we take a step back from an aerial point of view and say, okay, in all of these pillars, what is necessary to do, and actually dissect the root of all of this so we can get a better outcome. So we look at the physical part. Are we happy where we are with our goals there? We look at the spiritual part. Is there any way that we can expand what we're doing to feel closer to whatever we may believe in, or just to be centered for the moment, to be able to not be in your head with either anxiety or depression? And on the mental side, unfortunately, when we're in the throes and we're in our disease, we don't have the best thought process. We make up stories, we take past events and then project them forward, and so we've got to kind of really create a new mindset. And the beautiful part about recovery is you have the ability to be the architect of that. And it takes, like I said though, it takes a minute to step back and look at what has really been occurring and figure out what is the messages that you have believed to your core due to the years of abuse. And so by doing that, we actually have a foundation that we can build on. And so when I say that at Calusa, we really make sure to take our time and dissect what is necessary and not try to look for a quick solution. That's what we do for you. And if you want to have a fulfilled life, in our opinion, that is something that is completely non-negotiable. It's unfortunate when somebody has quick results from, let's say, joining a group at church or, having good conversations with the therapist, and none of that is wrong. But when we're trying to have a completely full picture, you really do have to dissect and look at everything that is happening. And so if this is something that you really don't understand or might be confused on, well, I can tell you I can help you. This is something that I am very, very passionate about, because even in my years of recovery, I have had plateaus where I've had to look at those pillars, dead sober. This doesn't just have to be with not drinking and using. This has to do with life in general. And the average person, and you've heard me talk about in other videos, they just don't do that. Nobody really takes time to look at themselves. And to be honest, I think it's unfair to your loved ones. It's unfair to the people around you if you're not willing to do that, because if you're not willing to do it, then they're not willing to do it. And all of a sudden they might have some friction and you might have some friction, and you guys want to butt heads instead of actually holding up a mirror and saying, what's going on and what can I do to have some sort of resolvement between us? And so if there's anything that I can do to help you on this matter, please go ahead and reach out.